and I'm going to go insane. I mean, I'll go insane anyway, but...
Ready to have that aneurysm at this last one.
Oh, God. It's...
I know one of them.
Not the worst. They didn't go lower. They didn't go higher, but they didn't go lower. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discussing Tabletop.
Hello.
It's July 9th. Getting at a little bit over halfway done the year. Woo.
Hooray.
It's summer. It's hot.
It's one day closer to my vacation in August.
And you're already going to party. Like it's...
I'm always going to sleep.
And I'll throw this doc in the chat, because I think I have it all done there.
There's 10 days of sleep, that sounds about good.
Hey, no. I'm technically getting sleep. I don't know how well, but...
Well, I slept for 8 hours yesterday, and it felt weird.
I took a, 2-hour nap around 9 o'clock at night, so...
Yeah, because, after Wrath on Thursday, I passed out in my bed and then woke up at, 9. I was like, wow. Usually, my body forces me awake at 5 a.m., and then I just suffer through the day.
Yeah. Sleep is nice, unless it turns against you. Because you sleep. But I guess let's just talk about topics first, before we go into anything else, because I'm going to lose it. Blah. Anyway, Paizo. They got some more releases, and some of them look actually kind of really interesting. There's a Lost Omens travel guide, what they call the Dark Archive, which is I guess more paranormally stuff that you would use. I guess things like haunts and stuff, and unusual stuff that can't be easily explained.
It might bring in probably because just reading. It looks like the occult stuff from first edition.
Yeah, the occult stuff, it was interesting.
This one, I like the occult stuff mostly. I think the classes are a little weird, though.
Yeah, some of them are better than others. It's interesting that they're working on improving them. That was a back end of first edition, so it was weird. And they also have a adventure, Crown of the Kobold King, which just sounds wonderful. Yep. And the first adventure path of Bloodlords is out, and I think the big thing, the Starfinder one is interesting.
Oh, more species.
Yeah, apparently, I didn't even realize, because I don't pay attention as much, there's 100 playable species in Starfinder.
There's a lot. Granted, most of them are just the Pathfinder ones converted over.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of Starfinder species.
Yeah, they're gonna have a table with all the 100+ ones there, including headshots, short descriptions, references, information about that, just to give you some basics. They want to go in. The book will go into more in depth about 25 of them that were basically selected by poll from fans. So I'm assuming that's some of the more unusual ones and stuff.
Yeah.
And your own rules for building your own species and stuff like that. That's kind of neat. And some technical class stuff.
Yeah,
a new class. The
Evolutionist is going to be a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's all a lot of neat stuff that they're doing. It's a good book. It sounds like a good book, It's one of those things I do like that Pathfinder does things like Bestiaries or Alien Archives more, because they do a thing that D&D should do, is we kept putting out all these books and had 1 or 2 monsters in them. Now we're throwing them together in a big book with some other stuff too. So you can find them all in one place, so you don't have to buy Adventure 27B in order to have this monster. You don't have to own every one of our fucking books.
God. Alright, I'm gonna have a mini rant here, because I've realized this yesterday. So, Paizo and Modiphius, you just have to buy one $50 book to more or less just run the game, right? You can buy the core rule book, that's all you kind of need.
Yeah.
You gotta buy two $50 books for $5.
That's true.
Gotta buy that player's handbook, and you gotta buy DMG. And then if you want the fun stuff, you gotta buy the other 2 books. If you want monsters, you gotta buy another one.
Well, I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, I feel like at very least, like, Paizo and Modifius do very good jobs of, like, providing you basic information of, like, you can make your own stuff. But you, like,
it just bothers me how small 5e rulebooks are.
For them to be $50, yeah.
For them to be that price, and I had that realization yesterday when I was looking at the Fallout 4 rulebook guide, and like 5e just makes you buy 2 of these.
Yeah. It's this terrible thing that's like, it's a tradition that dates back, but I feel like also, like if I compare the 5th edition Player's Handbook, and if I would take this and compare this book to 3rd edition Player's Handbook, or 3.5, they're bigger.
Yeah.
They're bigger books with more stuff in them and better books. In 3rd edition, would I necessarily be able to run off a Player's Handbook? I might still need a DMG.
Yeah, but I mean, for 5th edition, you can run with just the Player's Handbook. It's harder, but you can do it.
Yeah, but Rick, you really need the DMG, you know?
You want any of the items.
Like, the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide is just like, hey, you want, like, details on building worlds, or, like, all this other stuff, or, like, options and things like that, buy this book.
Yep.
You know, that's what they do. They're basically like, hey, this is an extra book that adds to this abilities to do stuff. It's what it's supposed to be. Rather, I need this to be able to run this. Instead, it's hey, this makes me better at running this.
Yeah, once you've already got the basics down.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the more I see from other companies good books for right prices, it makes me more unhappy about Wizards.
Yeah, it's just like especially now when Wizards has so much competition, they really need to change it.
Yeah. It's like they're running on the coattails of the popularity of 5e. Because again, it's popular for good reason. But it's sort of like if someone would come to me, depending on, like, I would, again, like a group of people, I'd probably run a 5e game for them, to get them, especially if they're really new to role-playing, into that. And then I might roll, and, like, honestly, nowadays, Pathfinder 2nd Edition's kind of fun.
I've circled back to the point where I originally was, all those years ago, where if I'm gonna be a player in, like, a game I know is gonna be long-running, I'd rather it just be Pathfinder.
Yeah. D&D characters are much better for shorter-term games.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, 5e, in my opinion, is it's at its most fun when it's, like, to level 6 or 7. Because then that's before it gets all... Here's, like, abilities, also good luck as a DM prepping anything fun, because everything's just going to be a slugfest.
Well, I think one of the things about it is that, I've talked about this before, is comparing D&D characters to Pathfinder characters. Even 2nd edition characters, you start out in either 1st or 2nd edition Pathfinder is you're a better than an average person, but just barely. Yeah. You're still mostly an average person. It's just maybe you have like a little spark of something. Whereas I take a first level D&D 5e character and you're this awesome hero type already.
It's like I've said this before, and it's maybe iffy. You can probably argue it. I feel like in Pathfinder, you're like an actual person, whereas in 5e you're just a class. Because you don't really build yourself up in 5e, whereas in Pathfinder, you crawl your way to being good.
Yeah. There's a lot of difficult challenges, and you have to overcome them to reach your level of heroics. You can't deal with that stuff, or it because of the scaling differences. It means that it's a lot harder to be like, I can take on this more powerful thing. Yes, cool, epic. Now, granted, you get the shit beat out of you at first level D&D. Your first level,
yeah.
you have no
I've
hit
died
points.
to goblins, level 1.
Yeah, you've got no hit points.
All of Lost Mine says hello.
But think about that level 1 to 6. By the time you're level 6, you're, slugfesting with, some epic things at that point in time already.
Yeah, I feel 5e has such a weird power scaling, because you already start super strong. And then, level 6, you're beating up, full-on, this dude's, a threat to the country. But in Pathfinder, at level 6, you're still dealing with, the local shit.
Hey, there's a troll. Oh, man. No. There's a group of trolls. Ah, shit. We can't take on those, One troll maybe we could take on at level 6. But a group of trolls... Ooh, boy.
I'll just throw some Kingmaker owlbears at you. They're Mega CR, so,
They are CR 15 or something. I don't understand why they can... Just use a different monster. Just use a different monster. It doesn't fucking have to be all owlbears. Have owlbears earlier. Have owlbears be the pets of the trolls. Instead you use troll hounds. They're just annoying. They're not really a threat.
Yeah, that's my little rant on 5e for the day. I'm sure there'll be more of it. It usually is.
I mean, it's just comparing it to these products from Paizo. Just makes me feel...
I get more excited at a Paizo product. I don't play half of Paizo's stuff, and I still get excited for Starfinder. I want to try Starfinder, but damn, 100 fucking species? 5e don't got that.
Yeah, I mean that's...
5e's got 30.
Yeah. And even then, that's kind of, they're stretching it a lot. 100 different things that are probably, weird and unusual and make you, because, again, they have a lot of different, really out there things because they're very creative with their, species that are, it sort of feels it feels alien. So you can be something that feels like you're from another world,
It's got the fucking squid thing, alien, that is the one evolutionist. Iconic. With 5e don't got that. 5e's got elves.
Yeah. They're just
Birdman.
I hear it's standard Birdman, that has been around.
There's 2 of them now. One's an owl, but the other's not.
Don't they have a bunny now or something?
They do have a bunny that I hated, so I made my own.
I mean, I always liked the turtles. The turtles were funny.
The turtles are just they've always been funny.
Look,
that lore is hilarious.
The lore is hilarious, and after in a kind of game, I had I think it was one shot I did on stream. Carpe played a turtle, and it was hilarious. And he talked with that that slow drawl kind of voice,
Was he a teenager? or mutated?
I can't remember at all. It's been that was years ago now. That was a game that had Joe, Worm, and him.
Damn.
I know.
I always love reading these Starfinder or the Paizo forum posts because they're just so silly.
Yeah. So yeah, they got a bunch of things, and the Traveler's Guide to Lost Omens is just about cultures, stories, and traditions about the freaking world, and that's I like that. That's adding to the world. That's shit that they need for if they're gonna use Faerun more. Give me more of that, and don't have it all invented by what's his face and Dritz.
Man, I just noticed this above that Lost Omen stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole ass book dedicated to undead.
Oh, the Dark Archive?
Book of the Dead.
Oh, the Book of the Dead. Oh, I missed that.
Just the best area of undead.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They got a lot of stuff, and they do a good job continuing.
Because Paizo still has... they do product on it. But they still have what I feel is that... almost that, like, 3rd edition mindset of... hey, if we're gonna release something, we should probably actually put stuff in it.
But here's also the thing. It is a vomit of different products, but at least they're all different. We have
they are so different.
We have a source book on, like, kind of classes and kind of, like, adventure stuff. We have a world-building guide. We have a part of an adventure path. We have an adventure, and then, like, Starfinder has its own thing, which is, like, you know, so it's, like, the 4 Pathfinder 2nd edition products are all different and make sense and are, like, add to your games in different ways. And I think that's really good. And honestly, most of it, if you really can't get some books here, most of the base information for, like, classes and stuff will end up on the Archives of Nethys.
Yeah, Paizo's really good about that. They just, like, encourage classes and stuff can be free.
Yeah. So, like, if you want to build characters and stuff, like, it encourages you, like, oh, hey, if you want to build, like, stuff for your, like, DM, they're really the ones buying a lot of this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Or, like, if you have some specific things you really want to have physical books for.
I just still want to play Starfinder one day.
I do kind of want to run a thing of it at some point. I keep thinking about it.
There's some tiny mini adventures for it.
I gotta, like, just put, like, a time, like, maybe, like, in an afternoon one of these days that, like, I'll do, like, one-shots or something. Or, like, short adventures. Anyway, let's talk about another thing, which is surprisingly not something that angers me. And it's from Gurps.
Gurps?
It's an adaptations book.
Oh.
Which takes fictional settings, things like Odyssey, Dracula, and stuff, and tells you how to do it in Gurps.
Neat.
I'm like, that's a good product.
Yeah, it's actually just a good product.
I'm like, I was actually honestly surprised when I saw that they had it there. I'm like,
that's actually just, like, not bad. That's good material.
I don't have complaints about Gurps because we don't talk about it a lot because they have just a lot of reprints of stuff they've done in previous editions, updated to their latest edition. You know, they do that with a lot of their products. Steve Jackson Games does that a lot.
The only problem I have with Gurps is mostly the character building.
I've heard it's a middle-of-the-road system.
It's, like, fine.
Yeah.
But I'd rather play something else most of the time.
I always wanted to try it, but now more in days I'm like, You know, it's like, it's hard to find the time to try something unless you really want to.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't interest me enough. Maybe if, like, someone came to me and, like, I'm going to run a Gurps one-shot. Do you want to join me? I might say yes. Because that's one-shot. That's not...
Yeah, it's like, one-shots are easy enough, you know?
Yeah. But, you know. I'm glad they're still doing stuff that's actually good. It's a product from Gurps that stood out for me, you know?
Yeah.
PDF's $11, and there's a 56-page soft cover for $16.
Not bad.
Yeah. Nope. It'll help you by giving you some suggestions. And the thing is, the other thing about something like this, it's good for you because it gives you suggestions that you could use to similar stuff. It gives you an idea of how to adapt it. That's why it's one of those series that I liked doing that I don't know if I'll ever get back to because it would require me to do a lot more of the, like, show editing again on my YouTube side. But when I was doing the how to adapt an anime to Besom, the thing is, yeah, I was being specific for that anime, with very similar genres. It gives you an idea of how to play things like that. Like what decisions to make, you know, how to adapt this very versatile system to that. And so, again, that's this book here. Adapt. So, yeah, if you are interested, make sure to check that one out there, because again, Gurps, it's not a bad system.
It's
And
like mostly okay.
if you are a fan of it, I have nothing against you being a fan of it. That was something I would definitely support. I want to talk about something because I thought this was dead. I gotta be honest. I by chance, because I hadn't checked this in a year, and it was after a couple of years they hadn't done anything. Facet Games still exists.
Yeah.
And they're the people that did originally Shadowrun before they sell it. They still have Earthdawn. They still put out books for Earthdawn.
Yeah, I knew that Earthdawn 4th edition came out in 2015.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if they did anything after that.
That was the thing, is I knew it came out, but they weren't really doing a lot of updates, so I stopped checking them. And by chance this week, I was it's been a while. I'll check it out. And the first thing I do is we've got new books for it. We're also planning for some stuff at Gen Con. I'm like, is this year? Oh my god, it is!
Yeah, I just thought Earthdawn quietly went away.
Apparently it didn't. Now granted, I will say, I like Earthdawn. I played
I've never
it once.
played it.
I like it because it's a really interesting system. It's it's not a specific dice system. It is a building dice system, I guess. There's a better word for it, I know. Effectively, if I have 1 rank in something, I might be rolling a d4. And if I have 20 ranks in something, I might be rolling 2d20.
Oh, that's weird.
So
that's cool, though.
It's scaling. There you go. So the better you get at something, the higher dice you roll. The bigger dice you roll.
Oh, it's... Okay, I see. It's got dice steps. Okay.
Yeah, dice steps. That's it. It's a dice step system. And I always liked it because it was interesting, because it was a very interesting world, and it was supposed to be you don't gain experience points, you gain points at becoming a legend, because that's kind of what you're doing, is you're tiering yourself up in a way to become more of a legend in the game. It was an interesting system. I played through a relatively short adventure, had a fun time. It could have been the DM, but again, a good DM will sell you on something.
Just reading because Age of Legends, which is another Earthdawn thing, they have a different dice system.
They might have something different for 4th edition. I have to check.
4th edition still uses the steps.
Okay.
For Age of Legends, the step system mechanics from previous Earthdawn editions, they've departed from it. Instead, uses a permutation of rules light mechanics from the Freedom Universal RPG system. Don't know what that means. Roll is in Age of Legends permutation. Roll a 6-sided die, and then you have to whatever the die rolls on, you either get a no and, a no but, or the opposite for yes. So if you roll a 6, you get your thing and a bonus. But if you roll a 2, you still get your thing, but there's a cost. That's kind of interesting.
Certainly that, again, Earthdawn stuff is another one that I would love to check out and maybe do a adventure in 4th edition sometime, if they have any pre-made adventures. They probably do.
Absolutely. Pre-made stuff.
Resources and character sheets, previous editions. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. I've never played Earthdawn.
It's been a long time. Honestly, they probably could adapt one of the older adventures too. I had some stuff.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Earthdawn. It's interesting. It's definitely something that because it has very similar flavor in a way to some of the stuff in Shadowrun, so you can definitely feel it, because it's supposed to be, I think, Shadowrun's the 5th world, and I think Earthdawn's either the 2nd or 3rd world or something.
Something like that.
And there's supposed to be cycles of magic, and Earthdawn's after magic is beginning to wane, so after the high point of it, and Shadowrun's supposed to be magic coming back, but technically I think the 5th and 6th edition of Shadowrun, and maybe in the 4th, doesn't talk about that as much because it's when someone else bought it from FASA.
Yeah.
They lost control of stuff. How about an interesting supplement for 5th edition up on Kickstarter? Let's talk about that. Monstrous Personas. You could be a weird splicer now and give yourself, like, monster parts.
Alright, you know, that's fair.
You know, like, you want to make yourself a mongrel folk? Just go ahead and make it, and, you know, they give rules for a whole bunch of monsters and splicing them into you. Like, you know, you can have rust monster parts, because that's just great. And the horrible picture of a man fused with a gibbering mouther.
Yeah, no, I just got to that one. That's horrific. That's terrible. That's a Final Fantasy XIV enemy. This thing appeared in Endwalker, I'm pretty sure. Lightning might know the boss I'm talking to.
Yeah, you know, $9 for a PDF here and $14 for a soft cover.
It's weird, I'll give it that.
And they're very early on in their pledge, and they're over halfway there, so they have a very good chance of getting to it.
Weird can be fun.
I think that's the big thing about it. Weird can be fun, and, like, this is like a a very unusual kind of thing. You know, doing weird monster transformations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It looked interesting, honestly. Weird and interesting. So, I don't know what else I was going to say about it. We'll move on to something that is out in PDF form. Dark Souls, the RPG.
Is it fixed now?
I have no idea. I just know it's out in PDF form.
So, like, I'm hoping it's fixed.
They say this is an updated version of the book published on the 6th of July, 2022.
Okay.
I don't know how much updated it is.
So, I don't know how much you know of how much of, like, a shit show the Dark Souls RPG was when it came out.
I've heard stories. That's about
So,
it.
like, I could go into a whole rant because it was something that genuinely upset me. Too long, didn't read. I'll go over, like, some of the highlights of what was wrong with it. The Knight class never started with enough strength to use any of their starting equipment, no matter what you did.
Wow.
I believe some stuff that was meant to scale with Dex just didn't.
Huh.
Spells had the entire wrong description. Crystalline Bolt or whatever just had the description for like a pyromancy spell and not the crystal spells. For Featherfall, you used your own spell DC to save, so as you leveled up, it would get harder to stop yourself from dying from fall damage. It was such a mess that they pulled it from sale.
Like, in the comments here, one of the people that purchased it does say they fixed some mistakes, but I don't know how many. Apparently there are extensive edits, though.
Well, that's good, because it needed it. When an entire class cannot even use their starting equipment. Because there is no way for you to ever get 16 strength at level 1.
Honestly, I'm curious as to if they managed to fix it. Because again, like, there are some concepts here that are interesting anyway. You know, the die and rise again kind of concept of, like, you know, having a very brutal game system.
That concept was actually done pretty well. Because when you died, you would roll a d20, and whatever it landed on, sometimes it would be a bad thing, sometimes you get a good thing. If you roll like a 1, you'd die and you'd make a new character. Okay. I didn't like that, but that's very Dark Souls world. Yeah. Sometimes you don't come back in lore. But yeah, with the sheer amount of rule mistakes, I'm so soured on the Dark Souls role-playing game. I don't think any amount of edits will fix that.
It's such an interesting thing that they messed it up so badly. You know, I definitely heard they messed it up badly, but that's just... I'm hoping they fixed it now, but honestly, if I could get someone like... If we could ever find someone that would be that tries the new version and can let us know, that'd be great.
I hope it's fixed. That's all I can say. I really do hope it's fixed.
Yeah. Let's talk about something that is a little bit more upbeat, because I really like the game. It's Ticket to Ride Ghost Train.
Oh, yeah. I love Ticket to Ride.
But now it's Ghost Train.
There's like a billion Ticket to Ride boards.
Yeah. I'm okay with like a weird Ghost Train-y one. It's like more of a kid-friendly one, which I'm also okay with.
That's fine.
But it's like adorable and like spooky. You know, this feels like something, you know, I could bring out and play with my niece. You know, and the rest of my family. Because it's just basically Ticket to Ride, maybe a little simpler. But it's got like a spooky thing. It's like, you know, you could play it in Halloween.
Ticket to Ride, but it's got a cutesy theme.
Yeah.
And you don't just look at a map of America.
Yeah.
Or Europe.
No. What is this a map of anyway? It's like spooky stuff.
Generic spooky town.
Generic. The Mad Scientist Lab, Circus of Dread, the Foggy Lighthouse.
What's so spooky about the fishing wharf?
Cthulhu.
Yeah, true. He's just trying to make a living fishing, though.
Yeah, it's like Dagon there with his, like, weird fishmen minions, you know? They're like, yeah, I'm half fish, half man.
Gingerbread house, that's got, like, a witch in it or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was, like, a nice little thing that I saw. And it's going to be out for September, so right in time for Halloween. $35, which is not bad for a board game, honestly.
That's, like, pretty standard for a Ticket to Ride board.
Yeah. So, caught my attention and screamed to me, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, Ticket to Ride, like, one of the best board games ever made, so...
And, they do a lot of versions of it, but I like when they have, variety in their versions. Like, I'm okay with them having more of them if, like, each one plays a little differently, so it makes it feel like I'm doing something slightly different, you know? A different... like different munchkins, you know?
I do love, and this is a very obscure fact that I'm sure no one in chat's going to care about. There's a Ticket to Ride board specifically for Pennsylvania.
I didn't know that one.
Yep.
To Ride PA. Oh, come on, Google. I'm looking you up.
There's one specifically for Pennsylvania.
Wow.
It's supposed to be like... It's got, for some reason, it's got like the UK on one side, and then Pennsylvania on the other side. And I don't know why those two are put together.
Oh, yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
Okay. I think the reason they were doing it is some of the earliest railroad lines were put in Pennsylvania.
Because Pennsylvania is a pretty famous railroad history.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. Our countless railroad strikes.
I honestly keep forgetting we have that kind of crap, you know, that we're like, oh yeah, we were like early...
Pennsylvania is kind of the birthplace of the U.S. labor movement.
Yeah, we've done a lot of good things.
There's a lot of worker riots.
Look, we've got a lot of good and bad things in Pennsylvania here, as both Pennsylvanians. And, like, honestly, I don't know what we're doing nowadays. We're just sitting here.
We exist and, I don't know, elect idiots.
Sounds about right.
For some reason, we don't do anything. We don't make news. We just exist.
Yeah,
we're probably fine.
I know, and that's probably for the best, honestly, at this point in time. We used to, like, you know, do all this cool stuff, but now we're like, you know, we've been in the limelight enough. Let's just take a step back and just not do anything anymore.
Yeah, you know, we got, like, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and, you know, you go visit those. And don't visit the middle, because the middle of Pennsylvania is basically Alabama.
I mean, Harrisburg's not bad.
Harrisburg, I've been there a couple times, and I hate it. Mostly it's like capital cities just suck.
Well, yeah, well, I think the only times I ever really visit Harrisburg is when I'm passing through, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to get some lunch. And I look... There's some nice food places there.
Yeah, because, like, that's my experience with Harrisburg is, hey, it's on the way to Philadelphia.
There was a really nice breakfast place there that I recall going to one time. That's my experience with Harrisburg, as I can remember.
It's like, I've been there a couple times since you drive through, because I've been to State College, Pennsylvania. Yeah, we have a city called State College, by the way.
We do. And Hershey,
got a bunch of colleges there. I've been there. I like Hershey.
Hershey's nice. I think I was there once when I was a kid, and then like the latest is when Joe won tickets in some kind of like work raffle, and
nice.
Was like, hey, Beth can't come, or not Beth at the time. I think his current fiance. That was his old girlfriend. I'm remembering the name off the top of my head. But his current fiance, she's like, she can't join us. Do you want to come along? And I'm like, sure.
Yeah, it's something to do.
Yeah. Go on some rides, check out a zoo, hang out, chat about cool things. Honestly, it was very nice, and it was getting out of the house.
Yep.
But this was before COVID, so it's many years now.
Yeah, it was pre-COVID.
It's like 2019 or something at this point.
Oh, it's so long ago.
I know. So Ticket to Ride Ghost Trains.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I like seeing it. I think it's neat. This is a weird thing that I've seen more of for a lot of card games. Packs. And they're for Fluxx. So they're doing a bunch of them with surprises, new rules, and more actions. And I get the feeling they can be added to any Fluxx game. They're built to be for. Which is neat. But they're like... I don't know if they're $5 a pack or $5 for all three of them.
It looks like I would guess per pack.
Yeah, they usually do it like that, and there's like there's not a lot of cards in each of them. Again, it's the thing because I feel like they could be used in any Fluxx. There's something I'm not 100% against, but like. A lot of these small card packs tend to be expensive. They're not... These are a little better than the Munchkin ones, because the Munchkin ones are for specific Munchkin games. Now, granted, you can combine those Munchkin games with other Munchkin games, but you have to get these cards for that one specifically in the first place. And they're also like $5. I don't know if they're doing much more of them anymore, but they did a lot of them for a while. Nowadays, but yeah. I don't know. I'm a mixed opinion about these because again they're like.
I don't play a lot of Fluxx, personally.
I
play like twice in my entire life. I think.
For me, sometimes it's been a default for like, oh hey, do you want to play some Tabletop Simulator?
That's fair.
We have like a half an hour or an hour. There are only a few games you can like kind of throw on there that are like, oh hey, they don't take a long time. And Fluxx tends to be one of them. It's like, oh hey, got a half an hour, let's do a game of Fluxx.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, in physical real life, sometimes when I've met with like Blaze and Joe, Blaze will be like, hey, I got a pack of Fluxx, and be like, okay, we can play it. Because you could do that like, while we're waiting for food at a restaurant. Because it's just a pack of cards. It's not an entire board game you're pulling out. And granted, nowadays we're usually chatting more than that because we don't see each other. But back in the day when we saw each other a lot more often, the pack of cards could come out. So I don't know. Yeah. I like Fluxx a lot. It's a fun one. I think I still like it more than Munchkin, even though it's got a lot of variations too. I feel like it doesn't do as many as Munchkin ever did. It spreads them out a lot more, so it feels a lot better. I guess that's the thing. And they do technically play very differently in a way. Same play, but yet not same play. I don't know. Again, mixed opinion on this one. I thought it was an interesting one to talk about. That they're doing these. I feel like they've probably done some more before because they're calling them more packs. Or maybe that they're just more of these things for your games. Not sure which. So yeah, if you're a big fan of Fluxx, you can check them out.
Yeah.
On their quest to do a character packs for now, it seems, every Star Trek in existence, we have Star Trek Adventures Picard Season 1.
Oh. I didn't like Picard Season 1. I didn't like Picard. But, I mean, it's an era you can play in.
I thought it was okay. I think it had some, I felt like it had some troubles, more than anything.
Yeah, this is the thing with Star Trek, is, no one is gonna like all of them.
Yeah. There's a lot of them now.
There's many, many Star Treks. They're all very different.
And honestly, I have to say, my opinions of a lot of them change over the years. So,
yeah.
If I go back and rewatch Picard in, a decade, I might like it a lot differently than I liked it now. Which it was.
I used to not like Deep Space Nine, and then I rewatched it a couple of years ago, and I liked it.
I think it was Deep Space Nine was so different, but it ends up being a good kind of different if you really think about it. It's something that Voyager and Enterprise didn't do. It was less. There were still problems of the week, but they were actually things that had effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They never had Voyager's. Oh, hey, the ship's back together after being blown apart.
I mean, the one thing I can say about Deep Space Nine, it's a Babylon 5 that aged better.
Yes. Oh.
Babylon 5 did not age very well.
Oh, I really like Babylon 5, but also, yes, it just doesn't age well.
It looks horrific.
It's not great nowadays. I tried to rewatch it at some point in time.
I couldn't rewatch it.
The early seasons are so hard to get through, and and the later seasons, they get a little mixed baggy kind of towards the end, because I feel like they probably were a little rushed too.
Oh, probably, yeah. I mean, if you like Picard, you got the characters to run in that era, no?
Yeah, it gives you an idea of more what to run with them.
Yeah, what characters will exist in that era. You get the ideas for how to build them.
I think it's good to have it because, as much as, I have complaints, they still do good jobs of world building more stuff, and they do that a pretty good job. I expect that we'll see more things from Discovery and stuff like that nowadays.
Oh, probably, and whatever the new series is called.
Brave New Worlds, because I just saw someone talk about that, which gave me this kind of just as a side note, since we were talking about Picard here, Brave New Worlds, just from the information I hear about it and some comparisons they're making, it puts me in that mindset of I'd probably like it, but it probably would be very just mediocre, be oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because apparently they nostalgia bait a lot more than they really should.
That's what I've heard as well.
Also, I'm very unhappy because apparently they don't do anything good with the Gorn, and apparently that's their enemy or something, and I'm
I
like the lizard dudes. I played one. I think they're neat. I think they should
fair.
I think you should actually have made them a thing instead of just it's a scary monster.
Nope. Evil enemy.
They're not really supposed to be. Maybe they'll fix things in Season 2. They claim to have fixed things with, Klingons and stuff in Season 2 and beyond of Discovery, but I don't know about that, because
I've heard Discovery gets better by, Season 3.
Well, Season 3, when they, go to be, the distant future, by, 1,000 years, they're, then they're actually doing their own shit and not, nostalgia baiting anymore, even though they're probably a little bit still issue of the week or some shit like that, because we can't get beyond that or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. I'm okay with them doing more. It's more products for Star Trek Adventures. It's more resources that could help you, especially if you want to play in that post-Discovery era. Not Discovery, Voyager era. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know when exactly Picard takes place.
A bunch of years.
After Next Generation.
It's supposed to be a bunch of years after like Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
He's old.
Yeah, because those were supposed to be like right after Next Gen by like a few years and stuff like that. You know, it's sort of like it was the Dominion War and in Deep Space Nine, and then right after the Dominion War ended, then Voyager was like they showed up because they were supposed to be gone during the entire thing. You know, which was like, oh hey, we had this like horrible catastrophic war that like made us question a lot of our own moralities and stuff and like and shit like that, you know. Oh hey, welcome back. We're probably traumatized. Let's talk about Usaopoly traumatized some more.
Oh god, please.
So we'll start with the first one, Critical Role Clue, because this is the one that was brought up to us.
God.
I mean, it's Clue.
It's just so weird.
They have a D&D clue where you're like, find out who the doppelganger is or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I guess, like, if you're doing... Because fucking two of the characters not in Chester, they have investigative shit going on in the series.
Yeah, this is supposed to be like in some kind of weird side quest that they're on.
It's in Zadash. If you've ever watched Critical Role, that's the capital city, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be like adventures from campaign 2. Which hero token will reveal the member in danger? Who's behind the spiteful plan, and where are they planning on striking? I mean, it's the three things of Clue done in such an interesting way. It's set in the world if you're a fan of that stuff. Again, like I've always said on this show, I tried to get into Critical Role back during the early season, but I was still like 100 episodes in.
It is very difficult to get into Critical Role.
I got, like, even when I was 100 behind from that first season, I got through like 20, and then I was like, yeah, that's too much.
I can't have watched all of Campaign 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I've stopped watching Campaign 3 because I didn't like it that much.
Mm.
I think that's a fair assessment. I have issues with it. I'm not going to go into it. If you want, like, an easy one to get into, they have, like, the Xandria Unlimited, which are, like, 10-episode mini-adventures. Those are pretty easy to get into.
They'll give you the style of it.
The latest one was done by the Dimension 20 DM. He's great.
Definitely getting other DMs, it sounds like, is a great idea.
I like Critical Role, and I like Mr. Matthew Mercer. I think he's a fantastic world builder. When you watch 300 episodes of the same DM, you need a break.
It's sort of like it's the same thing that I think, like, I can say safely. I have been gaming with the same group of people for probably, oh my god, nearly 2 decades now. Blaze, Joe, and the rest of all of our crew that we had, we still do games with him. Occasionally on a Friday, I still have my Pathfinder 2nd Edition game. Guess who's that with? The old gaming crew. Now, granted, many of them can't join that one, but, we still talk with them, and we still remember all those old games. We've at least decided at certain points in time, like, we had 2 standard DMs, and then other people would try it here and there. Because it gets boring when you just have the same one all over and over again.
Yeah, you really need to rotate DMs. Also, it gives your DM a chance to be a player.
Yeah. And it also gives people the chance to feel different voices and stuff, because everybody has their own.
Like, I've DM'd off and on for a couple of years now. After these 2 games I'm running finish up, I'm probably going to take a break together, because I need that break to get my creativity back.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like, that's why, like, I use things like, oh, hey, I'm using Skulls and Shackles, an adventure path from Pathfinder, because I can kind of run that, and, or, like, when I do Madness of the Land, I have, like, 50% of that written already, when I'll redo that for a new version of it. So, like, when I do it in Pathfinder, hey, I'm using my own writing, which past me was creative enough to do. Thanks, past me.
Star Wars, bam, easy enough. I got a whole Wikipedia for it. Cyberpunk game, a little more effort, because I'm actively making that world.
Yeah. It comes down to, like, you need you can still you can still do weekly stuff over long periods of time, but like you do need some breaks, and like things like being a player help you mentally too. Like, you know, experiencing like lightning, unfunny one, you know, getting all of them, even Worm, over the years, having all 4 of you, Will, you know, that's 5 people I've had DM me over the last, you know, years now, and all of you brought different voices and different ways of doing things, and have helped me, in a way, also become better.
I nothing feels more relaxing to me personally than when I get to play in Children of Wrath and not have to do anything for 3 hours. Because I'll just like, yeah, Bats and Fish can handle this. They can carry the stream. I don't gotta talk.
Yeah. Look, I wanted my giant monster fight, and I got my giant monster fight.
You got your monster fight, alright? You really got that one. Cool.
I wanted my giant monster fight. When I came up with that, like, with a suggestion, I just came up with it on the fly. I'm like, I kind of want to do this somehow and not make it stupid. Because, like, I was like, you know, they make good suggestions. If they use it directly on the elemental, it's probably terrible, but indirectly... Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
What's this other thing?
Yeah, and so the other thing is, hey, Disney Smash Up. Because...
Oh, that thing again? They're doing more Disney shit?
They're doing more Disney shit. I don't think they've done this one yet.
The Smash Up again? Oh, Smash Up is this one, right?
Yeah, Smash Up is the one where they, like, you take 2 groups of cards and put them together.
Okay.
It's the weird thing is that I could probably integrate this entire thing with normal Smash Up and it would work just fine. But it's Disney themed, and that's just weird.
Is Nightmare Before Christmas Disney?
Technically. It's, one of their subsidiaries.
Oh, it's Touchstone, right? For some reason I always think this one's DreamWorks.
Because Touchstone did it, and Touchstone, everybody forgets that Touchstone was Disney's more darker stuff.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want the Disney name on it. They have a couple of brands like that over the years.
I always forget the Touchstone. Because Touchstone did, like, fucking Armageddon. Armageddon's a Disney movie.
Yeah. Because, you know, it's a label under Disney, and they've done a lot of, like, dark, you know, that's the thing, is they've done darker movies and stuff like that. They freaking did Signs. I forgot that. Just looking up here quickly.
Pearl Harbor, I hate that movie.
Waterboy was a Touchstone picture. Friend Roger Rabbit.
Alright.
Con Air. That is certainly...
that's the best Nick Cage movie.
It's terrible, but in the right ways. I enjoy that movie because it is terrible in the right ways. But like a lot of these, like you look at them and you're like, oh, those are technically Disney movies because, you know, they're Touchstone movies. But that was the thing they did. So yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a Disney movie. Hi, Blaze!
I know a few of these Disney. I don't watch Disney, first off. Like, I never did. I've seen, like, Aladdin and Mulan. That's kind of it. I've never seen Big Hero 6. I'm aware of what it is. I've never seen. I've never watched Frozen.
I saw Big Hero 6 mainly because it was based on something originally Marvel, but I knew they were taking it away from Marvel, and I thought it was actually pretty interesting take on using... See, that was something I liked, too. They took something that was a Marvel property and adapted it in a very interesting and neat way that it wasn't, but it still was, you know, still had that core of what the suit, like, it was, but it was its own thing, you know.
I've seen parts of Wreck-It Ralph.
I kind of want to see the second one, but I haven't heard great things about it, but I like the first one.
And I've seen Lion King in the most roundabout way of, I've seen the Broadway show, not the movie.
I haven't seen any of those Broadway ones.
The Broadway show is
all 8 of these I have technically seen over the years.
I think I was forced to watch Beauty and the Beast in French class. But it was like in French, so I didn't pay attention to it.
Like, I thought the Aladdin spin-off cartoon was really good. that was back when Disney did like spin-off cartoons that were
Oh,
were
God.
actually pretty good. You know, they had like things
The-
like gargoyles and
The old
DuckTales.
Disney era of, we've made a thing, 6 direct-to-video movies and a bunch of TV shows.
The direct-to-video movies were terrible. The TV shows, mixed bag. You know,
I've seen Mulan too, and Pocahontas too. They're all awful.
Yeah, the sequel ones were not great. The TV ones, it was that era that they had things like Gargoyles and, you know, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, which is a weird spin-off to Jungle Book, but not.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah, they got the animals from Jungle Book, but they're like in their own world. Yeah.
I think the smash-up Disney is less weird than Clue Critical Role.
It's strangely it is.
The smash-up is like, it's just like, here's an IP, here's some cards, do a thing. I've never played Smash-up, but I know it's got a lot of like weird IPs involved with it.
I think the thing about Smash-up that I feel about it is the Hercules TV show wasn't awful. Tailspin was great. Yeah, it was World War I Ocean Planet.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of what Tailspin was. It was like pre World War I kind of like era. So there was an analogy for like the like German Empire at the time, or like whatever it had that had the guy that got assassinated. I don't know what it's called.
Austria-Hungary.
Yeah, Austria-Hungary bloc. And it had Sky Pirates, which was fun, you know.
Neat.
But no, I have to say, like, it's this weird thing about, like, because it's supposed to be, like, fighting it out okay, but it's also, like, a lot of Smash-Up cards are kind of, like, weird actions and, like, things. So, like, I think you can make it work, but because it could technically work with any other Smash-Up, I don't know if it fits as well. That's why it's weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, it technically works with it on the building of the cards, not on, like, the theme as much. You know, it's just... It's weird. I don't know. It's, like, one of those things, it's, like, not a terrible thing to do. It's just, like, it scratches my head a little bit thing to do.
Sure, but there's like a couple of things before this you could have done.
Yeah. A couple of, like, games based, that like, board games that you could have, like, licensed out doing Disney things based on. They've done some of them. Didn't they, like, work together with Steve Jackson Games for, like, Disney, Munchkin, or some shit like that at some point in time?
Probably. Is there a Disney Monopoly board? There probably is.
They probably have one of those. Hey,
Disney Clue? That probably exists too.
They have the Finding Nemo clue.
I mean, Disney-related clues, like, that's easy.
I just went to the Disney category and just seeing, like, Operation Disney Night Before Christmas. Operation.
Yeah, it's fine.
Hey,
get all the weird shit out of it. I don't remember that guy's name.
Yeah,
Oogie Boogie or something?
Yeah, Mr. Oogie Boogie. Oh, there's some interesting stuff in here.
There's a Night Before Christmas clue.
Why are there so many?
There's Lilo and Stitch Monopoly, which is just Hawaii.
Yeah. Candyland, Disney Parks, theme parks. Oh, there's Munchkin Disney. I was right. And Night Before Christmas Yahtzee.
Of course.
And Disney Family Codenames. I think that's fine.
Codenames is fine.
Yeah, I think Codenames... Like, Codenames and Smash Up were like...
Kingdom
those are fun.
Hearts edition, okay.
What
the fuck?
There's Kingdom Hearts.
Talisman, but it's Kingdom Hearts. Okay.
Yeah. I forget a lot about Talisman.
I've played it a couple times.
And a lot of Rubik's Cubes.
Yeah, because those are popular, I guess. I've never solved one.
I can't remember if I solved one normally or if I just did the cheat. Which is pull up the stickers and replace them.
My partner has, like, a bunch of Rubik's Cubes, but they're of, like, varying shapes, and he solves them every day, and I'm just like, damn, you're fucking way smarter than me, dude.
So
I'm not good at puzzles, chat.
I'm a mixed bag. I'll say that one. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, let's get into our deeper discussion topic.
Alright, what are we talking about?
I decided, because I brought up something that you're going to be doing when you come back in Buccaneers, side quests.
Side quests.
Now, I will tell you, Children of Wrath is side quest the game.
Children of Wrath has a plot, technically.
But they like side quest and I just put plot into the side quests that they do constantly.
I mean, that's a way to do it. Otherwise, they're already a menace to the world. They'd be more of a menace if they didn't have anything to do.
I'm going to say, I'm going to give Carrie an option that I don't know if she wants to take now, a new option. Does she want to start, like, mentally merging with an elemental?
That's weird.
Because she already just merged with one temporarily.
Love that, like, everyone's got all of this weird shit, and I'm just a dude with a stick.
She could become a physical form of the... She could, like, become both herself and also an elemental at the same time.
That's fine, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would probably make her less of a menace to the world, because she's honestly wandering into the world and learning about it.
She's already being a druid and having wisdom has made her less of a menace.
Yeah. And, you know. But, speaking about side quests, like, I've proposed to the Buccaneers crew, we did the skeletal ball gown. I'm coming up with, like, a list of, like, all these legends that they can check out that they have options to. They can read about, like, the basic legend and kind of what people say these things do and see if it interests them at all. I am going to say, one of my decisions with that is, perhaps there are going to be multiple factions forming towards the end of the game kind of stuff, and maybe some of these factions might try to find some of these things too, so anything that they don't get might end up in the hands of some people that would use it against them.
That's fine, I'm just gonna shoot them. None of those legends say Kevlar vests, so...
No, they don't. One is like armor that you can walk on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, have fun. I'll just dispel magic on it, have fun.
I mean, they're probably hard to dispel, but possible. But yeah, no, I think it's that thing that, like, side quests, it's like when we talk about, like, a video game, it's a lot easier to integrate a side quest and to have options for a lot of them.
It's like Fallout. You go to a settlement, people need help, and you get things for helping. D&D, I could have, like, I don't know, there's a dude in the corner of this bar, he's I don't know, you're supposed to meet him or something. There was a posted board about some bounty. I don't give a fuck about that dude. Who's this dude in the corner?
Yeah. When it comes down to playing something, like any tabletop role-playing game, sure, players can go on side quests a lot about stuff, but the problem with, I think, side quests is they kind of drag down the game in a way.
Yeah, they can. Like, I, in Star Wars, have had areas where you could get side quests, and I've said you could get side quests, and the collective decision has been, nah, we're gonna leave the planet.
I think most of the time it's sort of like, shit happens and we just want to, like, get out of there.
You caused the problem on the planet, we need to leave.
Technically, it's either Yak or Nax. That's caused the
Yak
problem.
or Nax has caused a problem, you have to leave immediately.
I
mean, there's some nice bounty hunters you could work with. The criminal guy you could have worked with, he's probably dead.
Yeah. I feel like it's like... Because we feel like we're telling a Star Wars story in that game, the side quests feel a lot more out of place.
The thing with Star Wars is all of the side questy stuff with the MacGuffins, that's just in the story.
Yeah.
Because it's Star Wars.
Yeah. It's sort of like there's some kind of MacGuffin over here that we can check out. It's technically a side quest because we're not dealing with the problem, but it's technically part of the main quest too because we're helping us deal with the problem.
Kind of how I've been doing them now, because I mean, you didn't have to go to Mustafar and talk to an idiot.
Yeah.
But it helps, and you get things from it, and it lets me use Vader to beat you.
It was good. It becomes this thing like, I can basically say like, I have a list of legends you could check out. But the thing is like, really like, in between certain points in time in the story, I could be like, well, there's time going by. You could do one of these if you wanted to.
It works well in Skulls and Shackles because instead of like an adventure that takes place over the course of a month or two, this one takes place over the course of like years.
Yeah. It's sort of like the next part of the adventure is at least 3 months, that for like the next big major thing. So it's like, you got like 3 months to kill. Maybe a little bit more because you're like, they might take into account you're repairing your ship, Yeah,
we do need to repair the ship.
They might say like 3 months, you have 3 months from when you depart or something,
Because that ship needs like a month of repairs.
And granted, while you depart, you can be like, oh, we'll check out this legend first before heading towards the island,
It's on the way.
Yeah, it's on the way. Technically, there's like one of the legends actually over by that island.
That's fair. Right.
You could check that one out.
I think the worst example of side quests I've ever seen in a D&D game. Lost Mines of Phandelver. The entire adventure is side quests.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's side quest, which is fine to have an adventure where you're doing random stuff, but none of it connects back to the main plot, which is you gotta go beat up a drow.
I think that's the other thing, too, is, like, you can have some distractions, but the more of them you have, if they are not linked to the main quest, it feels like you're just doing nothing,
Like, in a game, like, I could run a Star Wars game where there isn't really a main plot, because it's easy enough. There are so many eras of Star Wars where nothing happens. And I could sprinkle in side quests on planets that turn into planet-wide plots that you deal with, and then you leave. That's technically a side quest because it didn't lead to a main plot.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think, like, if you wanted to do one of those other, like, nothing happening eras, you could just do, like, Outer Rim shenanigans. Like, you're a smuggler. Go on some smuggling adventures.
I have an idea vaguely forming that, like, the party is all Force users during the Cold War between the Sith Empire and the Jedi Order. Nothing happens in that era. You're just going around the galaxy learning about yourselves.
Yeah.
And learning how to use the Force. There's no big main plot. It's all about you.
And the thing is, that's not bad to have, too. Like, I feel like, Star Wars plots, they do well for, like, like, galaxy-threatening plots, a Star Wars game, while, like, a lot of other games, they're harder to do. Like, I have established, like, Children of Wrath. There's a threat, but it's not, like, it's technically not world-ending. They're just...
There's a threat. 2 people in the party are worse than it.
Yeah, and that's the kind of problem. It's like... one of them is, like, in the middle now.
One of them is becoming Urza.
Yeah, one of them is becoming... I honestly might be go worse than Urza. Urza never threatened to destroy a plane. An important plane of the multiverse.
Yeah, Urza... Kaz is a terrible person.
He's gotten so worse. Oh.
He's got a god complex now.
Yeah. It's like I could just kill him, but I don't want to,
I'll do it for you.
That's the end of the game, really.
That's the game. I'm gonna kill Kaz.
And then something like Skulls and Shackles. It's a threat to the shackles that you end up dealing with. And I gotta tell you, that's only part of the 6th adventure is dealing with, like, the summary of the 6th adventure is Chelick's attacks.
Yeah, that's my assumption.
Yeah.
Like, nothing in Skulls and Shackles has actually been a story. It's been, hey, maybe if you want some influence, you gotta go to this pirate council thing.
Yeah.
Which is naturally what a pirate would do. There's no real story attached to it.
I think Skulls and Shackles is good because it's a very you're the story kind of thing. It's like
it's our characters are the story.
Yeah, you're becoming pirate legends, and telling your own story that way, by becoming legends and doing things that make you legendary. And that's a good story too. Like I feel like there are other stories I've told which have big plot lines and stuff like that, but you go in different directions.
Yeah.
I feel like there wasn't a lot of side quests and things like Records of Evil because, honestly, they were.
No, we just had a mission we had to do,
and you weren't good at it a lot of times.
I was the only one who was competent.
And you came in halfway, so it's like you came in and you picked them up and were like, "Okay, guys, let's go over here and take care
I'll drag you here."
What were you doing for the past while?
You were learning what a car is. Oh God.
You made a cult of some kind. How is your cult? It's a self-help group. Oh God.
No, I've been waiting for 10 years for you to find me. What have you been doing? You've been working at a strip club?
I forgot that. That was great. A strip club for short races that like tall women. It was a hell of a place. Aren't you of smaller stature and like people that are not smaller stature come to this club?
The entire internet after Resident Evil 8 was released.
It was. And then I gotta be honest, there was a degree of side questiness to things like Legacies of Kain, but it was all usually beholden to a main quest that was going on, and or I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back, a lot of times. It's sort of I need some help from this man. Okay, do this side quest for me. And it helps their main quest, That's good side questing, I go to this man who can help me with my main mission. Okay, they'll help me for helping them.
Yeah, I feel as me as a DM personally, the way I tend to run games, because the way I start a game is action, get you idiots all together. You do a starting quest that opens up the area, and then I let you find something I put in the world to do. It works most of the time. When all characters want to actually interact with the world, that's a topic we should talk about. What to do when a player character doesn't give a shit.
Oh God, it's hard to deal with even as a player.
This is a side tangent. This is something that I have been thinking about recently. Interesting enough, because of Critical Role, they did a big old podcast episode where all three of the DMs talked about it. When a player doesn't care, the game becomes nearly impossible to run. I've dealt with it in 2 of the campaigns I've done.
I mean, I'm with you on the one campaign. I can say now I know a character that really doesn't care about what's going on in the world. And
that campaign's almost over, so I'm just not going to deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to address it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. I try not to have characters that are so apathetic. You can be disconnected from a lot of stuff that goes on, but there's a level of playing a person you have to remember. Even if you're there are very few if you're playing a character that's so apathetic towards the world, you're kind of not playing a character, you're playing a villain.
Yeah.
And that's not something you want to play unless you're playing a villainous campaign. And even then, you're not playing a good villain. Like, a good villain's like, oh, I want to conquer something, or I have a goal in mind. If you're apathetic, you just don't give a flying rat's ass. And that's, like, what's the point of your existence, then?
As a player, I tried... Because I've played that kind of, like, a little... I've played characters that don't care as much for whatever the main problem is. But the way I tend to do it if I do that is... Maybe they don't care about the main problem, but dealing with the problem will get them something in return.
Yeah.
Or they care about the people they're traveling with enough to, hey, they want to deal with this problem, I'm going to help them.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I would feel like... Not to name names, but a certain Devonian who likes money, I would think you don't get money if the galaxy explodes.
Yeah. If every planet is drained of life, money doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. You like money and want to spend it on stuff to get things. Save the galaxy for this. That's a good reason.
You'll probably get a lot of money for doing that.
Yes, people will be happy about that. But I just don't feel that a lot of times.
It's hard, man. That's why I don't do side quests in this games. Sad players that give a shit. It's hard, man.
Yeah, no, I can see.
It's hard.
I can see the hardness of it. It's the thing that it's the catch-22. Like, you need, if you're gonna do something, it needs to be interesting. It needs to either indirectly help the main plot, or it has to be in a position where it's not going to degrade things. You know, like, as I'm saying, like Skulls and Shackle, you have a lot of time in between something. You could just be like, let's go on this little, like, side tangent because we have the time to.
A type of side quest I'm a big fan of putting into games, at least once or twice, is you're going along the main plot and you hear about something that could help you, say an item or an NPC, but they're off in a different direction than the main plot, and maybe you have a little time, and maybe you don't, but that could really help you deal with this problem. Yeah. It's a side quest, but it is vague. It's a side quest that wasn't originally, like, entwined with the main plot because it's just a sword in a dungeon or an NPC in a village.
Yeah.
But the players are going to make it involved with the main plot. And I think that's a good way to do a side quest.
You can even have little side tangent adventures that, like, you know, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially depending on the type of team you have. If you have an established team that they're, let's say, good guys, they tend to do the right thing. You could have it that when they visit a small town on the way to somewhere, something's going on there. Yeah. They would want to get involved in. The thing is, give them that option. See if they want to do it. If they feel like, oh, hey, there's some kind of problem here, we should help them, then they're choosing to do that side quest. You're not forcing it on them, you know? That should be the other thing about side quest. It's an option.
Yeah, it's always the option. You shouldn't have to complete it to complete your main story.
Yeah. And make it feel optional, and players will more likely be feel like it's a good thing. Like, in a, you know, some good rewards, or like maybe like someone in town knows something that can help them out after they helped it out, makes it feel like, oh, hey, which way are you headed? Oh, I know some information that can make it easier to get that way. You know, avoid this path because there's, like, you know, a horrible bandit lord over there, you know, or something like that.
CR-15 owlbears over there.
Yeah, you know, something like that, you know, or like an ancient dragon woke up over there. Go that way to where you're going, you know. Oh, hey, you know, the ancient dragon, not something we really need to deal with. It's not really, it controls its territory, doesn't really threaten most people. We don't have to go fight it, and we get killed by it. Let's go that way, you know, that kind of thing. You know, and you know, add that little bit in after the reward that even then, you know, and you don't have to have that in every village they visit, but, like, once in a while, especially if it's like a traveling kind of thing, you know. I mean, there were some side quests that I wanted to take that I wasn't allowed to, and I was sad about it. There was the Lightning City of the weird, you know, like, people. That everybody was like, no, we're not doing this side quest. Or was that just Umber?
God.
I can't remember.
That was mostly just Umber.
I wanted to do that side quest.
I was like, my character, because my character didn't give a shit
Yeah.
about Small Island, but was like, well, you want to deal with it. If you need help, come get me.
Yeah. I was like, this is something weird. We should check it out. It's kind of like interesting and weird, and like, you know, I was a good person, wanted to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the clockwork people.
That's generally where I'm at. Is like, oh, you want to do this side quest? Yeah. If you need help, just let me know.
Yeah.
And if you say yeah, I'll tag along. Or like when, in that game, the whole shrine, abandoned shrine side quest thing. Marty and Roval wanted to help. Someone didn't. And it didn't happen. Because I got mad. It's like, whatever, dude.
Yeah. I think that was kind of a little bit of a thing. Is that was such a...
Can't blame the player, though. He was in a bad point in his life.
Yeah, he's still kind of low, and I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I'm only hoping things get better for them, and it's kind of hard.
Me too.
Yeah. And, you know, when you chat with them, it's just like, oh, shit, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but side quests can be fun, or they can be pointless. They don't also have to exist. You don't need a side quest.
No. I think it's
like don't feel pressured to put side quests in your game because like Skyrim has a billion of them.
Yeah. And it's not something that happens in like every world or every adventure. Like, you know, honestly, and like, I think of it. I would say like think of it this way. If I've got a adventure that I'm running, and it's like an adventure that's like even if I'm wanting something almost that's like a pre-made adventure, they usually don't have a lot of side quests to them. Like, you know,
no, they don't.
If I would pick up like a small book that would run for maybe like 5 or 6 sessions, you know, it's a small adventure. It's got its main thing. It's going to do that. It's going to do it well. Yeah. It comes down to, you know, a lot of like what the world is, what the player is. You got to ask yourself a lot of questions before you add those in, you know.
Yep.
And
like, not every NPC is gonna have that big exclamation point for a quest over their head. You know, most people don't got shit going on in their lives.
I mean, like a good example of like both side quests and main quests combined, I think, is in Buccaneers, the entire spy thing. You know, because it's sort of like, we got to find out about this. Here's 2 leads. Each one of them are like, we'll help you if you do this thing for us.
Yep.
You know? And so it led you down this, like, rabbit hole of, like, doing all this stuff and traveling all over the place. So it's like, you're both doing the main quest and side questing at the same time. Yeah. That's a good way of doing it, you know? I think the other thing I was going to say, like, if you have a really cool idea for a side quest, and you kind of want to use it, there are ways of making it appealable to your players.
Yeah.
You know, just be creative, be adaptive, and you know, certainly do it right, I guess is the good way of saying it.
Yeah. I mean, a common reward I give out for side quests is usually like money or information, but I feel like if I'm like, hey, you know, if I have an NPC come up to you guys in Star Wars and they're like, hey, you know, I know you're doing this thing, help me out and I'll help you, but I feel like he's just going to get threatened and murdered. I feel like they're just going to shoot him until he gives them the information.
Like, me and Cell would say sure. I feel like either of Lightning's characters would be like, would probably be probably reasonable. Fine, whatever, you know. The Mandalorian's probably more like, how much do I get paid?
Yeah, Mandalorian's like, money, please.
Yeah. It's mercenary type, which mercenary types are fine.
Hey, I like playing mercenary types in games because they're like the easiest characters to incentivize to do shit.
I give Yak a 50-50 because Yak wants to be a mercenary type.
He's got a chaos streak in him.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when there's a lady tied up on his ship, he just tries to shoot her.
It's very true. Just decides to shoot her.
It was hilarious. And also, I didn't know what to do at that point. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It broke me a lot, too. I was like, what? Why did you do this? What?
It's so out of character.
It felt... maybe not like necessarily out of character, but like to shoot something. But I think it was usually Yak at least asks questions first and then shoots.
Yeah, it's not like Nax just shoots out of boredom.
It's like, I got bored, I blew up a plane.
I got bored, I shot a bird, and then it attacked me.
Yeah, then you're stuck in the ship, and it's like,
You're
guys.
just stuck, surrounded by lizard birds.
It's like, could you just not do that in the first place? Why do you shoot stuff when you get bored? That's not a great idea.
Yep.
We should give him a fidget toy. Here you go, have a fidget toy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Entertain himself. He's a 3-year-old.
Oh, basically is, yeah.
But yeah, so
yeah, I've been on some cool side quests in D&D.
I think it is important to have the option of them because it's like one of those things that it makes your world feel like there's more going on in it.
Yeah,
I think that's why it becomes something important.
Like I will say, for Skulls and Shackles, there are 2 instances that for me have been the most fun, and the first one is the dress side quest.
Yeah,
that was like, hands down, that was the most fun of this game so far. The second most fun was fighting a dragon turtle. That was just cool.
Yeah, see, like, and I think those are different things because, like, the dress stuff was, I'm only given so much information about these little, like, legendary things. So I have to kind of, like, build on my own off of that, but using the world, which is good. That one flexes a little bit more of my creativity rather than crutching on the existing stuff.
Yeah.
The dragon turtle, that was just cinematically cool, and I made it. And I just, that
was just cool.
That was the thing, is like, honestly, if I went by rules by written, because that thing rolled like an 18 and Cell rolled like a 5, your ship should just been sunk.
Yeah.
But I made it much more like epic, like this like awesome thing, and like then when you criticaled it, like made it a lot cooler too, because you certainly drew its attention there. It was more focused on devouring the thing that hurt it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And destroying that rather than like sinking your ship. It found enemy.
Yeah, I guess fuck Dragon Turtle. I'm gonna go back and kill that thing at level like 15.
There might be stuff to do at level 15, because honestly, like, there's some resolutions that are before the end of Book 6, and honestly, I'm actually thinking of some things that are, like, post-Book 6 for a little bit, for a few more sessions and stuff.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, there's, like, because I'm starting to go in a little bit into Misty with the game.
Mm-hmm.
We had that little whole chat last session. It's quite possible there may be something you get that could be used as a resolution involving some Chilexian Inquisitors.
I mean, like, I could also add that kind of stuff in, too. Like, some more stuff that's, like, after Book 6 finishes up. Because, honestly, it's, like, I think a lot of characters are having good arcs. Like, Revia's pretty standard for Revia, but there's still a little bit of...
I'm the best goddamn sailor in the world. I rolled below a 30, I gotta take this feat.
Revia, I think it's the obsession with being best is actually there, and you can feel it.
So
palpably.
Funny.
It's such an interesting thing. That's like it's actually a character development of like it's this major flaw. The character just needs to be the best.
He needs to be the greatest goddamn sailor in existence.
I gotta be honest. Like, Besmara, like 30% cares.
I feel like out of all of the gods, Besmara just doesn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah, Besmara's an interesting deity when you read up about them, like, and Besmara does, like, it's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh hey, oh yeah, you're doing pretty cool, great, and, like, gives the thumbs up and goes back to what they were doing.
Goes back to doing pirate things.
Yeah, just like doing, like, god pirate things. It's like, because like Besmara's honestly originally Besmara's a goddess of sea monsters.
Yeah.
That's things that people forget, too. Besmara's a goddess of sea monsters, because she was originally a water spirit that was, like, a goddess of, like, sea monsters and, like, vengeance against other towns and stuff. And, like,
Yeah.
some of those people became pirates, and like she helped them out with that, and she was like, "Oh, hey, cool, pirating sounds cool."
Like, Besmar is a chaotic neutral deity, and the chaotic neutral deities are just like mixed bag, flaky. They don't really give a shit.
Chaotic good ones are. Caden Kalen is a drunk mess.
Yeah.
But he's a god, and he does want to do the right thing. He just like gets drunk on like god alcohol. So like he's just like he's like, oh god, shit! I was supposed to help out with that. Damn it!
Even like Desna she has basically no holy text. It's like 2 scrolls worth, and she just doesn't really do anything. Just like, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send the Night Monarch to go beat up some Eldritch gods. I
think it's the interesting thing about the Pathfinder deities is that they really, most of the time, don't give a flying rat's ass.
Yeah, they're gods. They don't have to care.
They got, like, their own problems that they're dealing with, because, again, like, there is, like, divine realms and battles and shit going on out in the interim. You know, the Outer Planes have a lot of shit going on. Asmodeus is more like, you know, like, hey, you know, let's conquer the multiverse. You know? A lot. Because Asmodeus is a dick.
Yeah, and, like, Desna is probably, honestly, too busy being a lesbian to care. Because she's, like, hooked up with 4 women gods.
Yeah.
She technically hates, like, a couple of gods, but I don't think she gives a shit.
Well, it's like, Phrasma's probably the oldest god that's still worshipped, by far. She's ancient. She's even older than the, like the Eredin or something, too. It's like, she's been worshipped since the beginning because she is death incarnate. She's gone by different names. You know, she just exists. She's just like, yeah, you know, I do my job. I've done it. People are making undead. Someone get rid of those things. Again.
Phrasma is a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
That's why she's, like, probably the most active god. She's just a bureaucrat.
Mm-hmm. She is true neutral death.
Yeah.
But it sort of comes down to, like, yeah, if I would do anything for, like, back end of Buccaneers, it would be kind of side questy that would become, like, main questy kind of thing, because it'd be like, hey, you've got these leftover problems. Because honestly, like, I established a bunch of, like, enemy types, and, like, the story does have you deal with Harrigan, but it also might be a little bit more difficult, because maybe there's this certain, like, ghost lady and a crew of pirates that I don't know who she's joining with, but she might join with someone to get revenge on you, because she's not that powerful.
She's a ghost. Ghosts, at our level, ghosts aren't really a problem.
She's more of a problem than she was when she was alive, but you've also gained levels.
She's stronger now, but still not that much of a problem.
So I'm establishing that you, like, may fight her again, but it will be in association with this other thing, you know, that you're fighting.
Yeah, we'll deal with her down the line.
While I've worked on a certain other crew, which might rival Harrigan's crew.
I don't know anyone. I don't know anything about those guys.
Yeah, you don't know about any of those things.
I don't know shit about them. They're weird.
Mm-hmm.
I only know about Harrigan. They didn't tell me about them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they told me they killed them, but apparently they did such a bad job at it that they're still alive.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's some things that went on behind the scenes that, you know, you may or may not learn about that's going on there. That's, you know, just things, you know.
That's
and
fine.
There's a nice man who's gotten a little bigger and, like, also seems to have, like, these weird, like, you know, scars across his body, and also seems a little, like, you know, less alive than he used to be, but still moving around.
He's probably killable.
He's probably killable again. Or he might be some kind of undead that's sworn vengeance against you that you have to, like, you know, it's hard to kill. You know, perhaps like this thing that we fought a lot of times in Lightning's game.
True.
You know, kept coming back.
You don't have a rocket launcher?
Maybe I can strap a cannon to his arm. That counts. Anyway. It's just sort of like I have to, like, you know, bring up to Lightning if he wants to guest star a few times and island adventures when there's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have Nat around. Kind of
Nat
thing.
for her big side quest.
Yeah. And then Nat could just build a mover shop to the new island, the new town, just be like on your island or something.
Nat can just have 2 shops.
Yeah, that's true.
Have some idiot looking after the other one.
She
Have the kid.
How's the kid?
Yeah, the kid.
The kid looks after the other shop.
Teach the kid how to be a mage.
Yeah. just he's like, huh. I mean, like, honestly, he has like no levels of anything. He could learn.
He could just be a wizard.
Yeah, he could just learn wizarding, like, because technically he's not. He's a craftsman. He's high intelligence. Crafting is an intelligence-based skill.
Yeah, just teach him how to make magic items.
You did teach him how to make guns. Now he can learn.
He's got the gunsmithing feat.
Yeah. Let's talk about our week in games. That's a good
we
thing.
had one of those.
Sunday, I think is where we started our week, because we're going to be having Saturday stuff starting today.
Yeah, I think we had to miss Sunday because I was sick.
That's right.
I was so unwell after I posted the "Hey, I don't feel well, I'm not gonna run." I passed out. I passed out in my bed.
Yeah, I can see. I've been there before. Been a while, but it sucks when you get that bad.
Every once in a while, you just get that fatigue.
Mm-hmm. We just feel like crap.
Yeah, holidays are rough.
So that was Sunday. I don't think anybody has anything on Monday.
I don't do anything on Mondays. We have Tuesday.
We do have Tuesday.
You guys went to Mustafar and met the smartest man alive.
Oh God, yes. I don't know how he's still alive.
He is so smart.
He's
got a lot of wisdom. That's why he's still alive.
I mean, we actually enacted our plan of prevent the horrible evil Sith lady who's got a mask that may or may take over her corpse and become worse.
So I get the fun thing as the background. The big evil of the game has a mask that you don't know really. You could make assumptions what's going to happen. The assumption may be right. You don't really know what's going to happen, but someone was like, maybe don't kill her before you deal with the mask.
Yeah.
And now that leaves me open with the fun of, hey, she's going to put herself in dangerous situations. Good luck.
We beat the shit out of her, and then she's like, "Oh, it's Darth Vader. I'm gonna go fight her." I'm like, "No, please, lady, no, bad lady, no, naughty, get back here."
Yeah, you went to Mustafar, met an idiot, you broke into Vader's castle, you stole a bunch of shit, and then you had a classic bridge fight. Tried to throw her off the bridge many times, successfully worked once. She came back on the bridge. She healed like 100 HP, and then a heavy breathing man showed up, and she's like, "Fuck you guys, he's got more force energy. I'm gonna go kill him and eat him." And then Himbo just shoved her off the bridge again.
Well, he plummeted too, and we're like, "I guess he's dead." And then he's like, "I'm alive," and I'm like, did he survive?
I'm alive.
He's like, I managed to get to this thing, and I'm like, oh God, he lived. How did he live? I don't know. I don't want to ask. But I mean,
it's an amazing tale for when you get back to a ship. You're still on Mustafar and maybe being hunted.
Yeah, then we stole like a shitty ship and like crashed
away from
the top.
Like the villain you're dealing with is a psychopath.
Yeah.
Let me put that out there. She really wanted to get into that fortress. And her ship was damaged, so she just crashed her ship into the fortress. And that's why she looked like she was injured when she fought you.
And we stole that shit.
that was my justification for like, I really want you to fight her again at some point, but like she's really strong. How can I make it so she's not as strong? I know, I'll have her be a psychopath and injure herself. So she's at roughly maybe half strength.
She has certainly proven she's psychotic and dangerous. Repeatedly.
Yeah, you're still on Mustafar. Good luck. Which sucks there.
At least we're out of the fortress.
I love that that Yak escaped Tatooine, only to have to deal with desert planets, volcano planets, fucking just a tundra world.
He can never find good water.
No, he's never gonna find anywhere nice. He just left one shitty planet for him, another after another.
Even when he comes to a planet that has water, it's just terrible.
It's still awful.
Yeah. He's like, man, there really is no great place in the universe. You realizing this now.
They're all just terrible. We go to Naboo, but I don't think they'd let him on there.
No, probably not. I get the feeling that, like, when his father left, they're like, good riddance.
His father was probably exiled.
Good riddance to bad music.
Yeah, that's Star Wars. It's getting close to, like, the end.
Yeah, no.
Got, like, 3 more levels, and you're good. 'Cause I'm ending at 11.
It feels like we're definitely making progress in that game, which I'm happy about.
I also may have had Vader show up, because I can just have him stalk you across Mustafar.
Yeah. Then we had Buccaneers, which...
Buccaneers.
We ended the season. Season 3's done.
We ended the season.
Some invisible stalkers, which I will tell you, because I found it funny, what happened was, I gave, it's, technically speaking, you don't know this, but someone on Harrigan's ship summoned the invisible stalkers to attack you.
I assumed.
Yeah. But they have to make a caster level check because it was like higher level than they could normally do. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give them disadvantage because I'm gonna give you a chance because you've been like fucked around a little bit. So that's what that first roll was.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then I rolled enough on my end. Yeah. I'm like, it was disadvantage I gave them. They had to roll like a 7 to make it successfully. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not a lot. And so like, no, that check was just like, well, invisible stalkers.
They didn't really do much.
I mean,
because invisible stalkers kind of suck at our level. Also, they got glitter bombed.
If they didn't get glitter bombed, they probably would have been more of a threat. Because you would have been able to damage them, but yeah, cool would have had a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, they got glittered. I forgot that spell actually existed.
It's one you forget. It's really good for this situation. Yeah. And you've won a race.
We won our race. We had some player-to-player chats.
Mm-hmm. Had some
I've realized that, or Misty has realized that if she ever brings up any problems to Yakul, he's not going to understand them. What's an Inquisitor? Do they ask questions? Kinda.
Yeah, cool. It's just he's deployed with some emotional issues that stem back to apparently his father's abuse. He understands why he's a barbarian. He's an abusive father. He's gotten angrier. He's not very smart.
We're gonna get on that headband. We're gonna put it on him while he sleeps.
He's gonna be slightly smarter, maybe enough.
He'll have average intelligence.
Yeah,
he'll be able to write.
I think he can write now, even with an 8. Just no one's taught him. Teach him to write or something.
We can't fix the charisma. That's already a 6. Good luck with that. Yeah. Then we had a party. We partied at Pirate City.
Mm-hmm. And you learned that the hard truth is that you're still technically provisional members of the council. I'm gonna actually tell you, there's a way that all the major PCs can become members of the council.
Really?
There is. Specifically, because there's also like you could have blown the race out of the water. You guys ended up with a 1 for various reasons. You can get over a 10. If you get over a 10, you just win. No one's around. Like Harrigan was way behind you and summoned invisible stalkers to like get you or something, that kind of thing.
I feel like the turtle didn't help.
The turtle fight was very interesting, and you had a chance to avoid it, and you barely didn't.
Yeah.
Like, if Cell had rolled better on one of those checks, you would avoid the turtle.
Yeah, I think the way it happened is better because it builds more of a rivalry between Harrigan and
I agree.
the PCs that actually he knows about and he gives a shit about.
Honestly, you weren't doing so well that you would have gone way ahead anyway. That's the thing too.
Because we had a lot of bad checks at the beginning.
And the thing is, not all of them are Profession Sailor. Only about half the checks are Profession Sailor, which does help too. And then like the idea that like the thing is, it's sort of like, I will tell you, you could get everybody on the council if you somehow, when you get people for the meeting there, blow them out of the water. Not only will you like get Yakul's thing, they'll be like, oh, your officers can join too, that kind of thing too. They've proven themselves worthy enough, or like that your crew is good enough, that kind of thing. You get a couple of seats, on the council. It doesn't happen very often.
I can imagine not.
And I've looked at it. It's very hard to get that.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't know if Misty would even want position. She's got other stuff going on.
I mean, it might be more like things like elevating.
Getting like Revia on there would be would be better.
We're putting God, I'm forgetting his name, Cog, because he's like in charge of a boat now.
Yeah, because Cog actually wouldn't be bad because he has his own boat. Yeah.
He's kind of he's aligned to you, but that doesn't just means he's like it would put him on like more equal terms with Yakul rather than like being part of the fleet. They'd be like your ally pilots, or something.
Yeah,
which isn't a bad thing too. Like maybe like hand Tidewater Rock over to him or something. Or, he could make that more of a base or something. I don't know. There's a lot of
we'll just move Stell's wife to our island.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you could take things. Certainly, that'd be interesting. Then Children of Wrath happened, where a big battle happened. There was a hurricane. A lich was freed. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to use them ever again.
My logic is, the place has enough liches already. What's one more? Who cares?
Honestly,
it's a lich.
Depending on how things went, I could have used him again, but just freeing him and if Carrie was actually violent towards him, he probably would have come back for vengeance or something. But just threatening him and not very well was just he just thought that was funny, honestly.
It's just, who cares? Let him go.
Yeah. Yeah. And then then basically a Genesis box was detonated and empowered the land. To heal it from the horrible death of Yawgmoth that came down upon the area here. Technically, the horrible Death Cloud's corpse is in the land here. Known fact, doesn't do good things for the territory, especially.
No, it doesn't, but that's healed now.
It's buried deep. It's not like it's not there. It's just, it's better-ish. It probably makes this place less appealing to horrible things of black mana because it was kind of the tower was a source of probably more black mana than most places in Urborg in a land filled with it.
Yeah.
And then Carrie had an awesome battle with a giant frog monster.
Yep.
Which I thought was a kind of cool thing too. I could use a villainous character without actually having him show up. He merged with once again to resurrect a horrible spirit monster and was going to go you've invaded my tower. I shall destroy you once and for all using my
didn't work out too
final
well
thing, and then Kaz put a thing into his leg and sacrificed the arm, which was.
I mean, he wanted to do that anyways.
He didn't really want to get.
This was just more painful.
Yeah, he'll have to go for a few sessions without an arm. Definitely.
It's not my problem.
It's his problem.
I'm gonna make a lot of "Do you need a hand" jokes just to make him mad.
I will tell you, you're not gonna gain a level until you leave Urborg, which there's a little time.
I figured.
Yeah. There's still stuff to do here. There's a wreckage of a ship and a furnace to find.
There's probably some more cool stuff that could happen to the other freaks I travel with.
I mean, as soon as you find those two things, a big thing will happen, which will kind of lead into the end game kind of thing. I've made plans for that. So, at that point in time, there will be actually options. You could go straight into the end game, or it will be kind of like a little bit of Star Wars of like, maybe we should find more out about this before doing it, kind of
Here's
thing.
some MacGuffins.
Here's some stuff that could be the MacGuffins in helping the end game stuff.
Yep.
I don't know what your team will want to be, honestly. I am ready for them not to do MacGuffins.
I mean, I can make suggestions. No one's going to listen to me. Rarely is Cole listened to, despite, being the one who makes the better decisions, usually.
Claude will probably agree.
Yeah.
Claude actually, listens to things. He does make terrible decisions occasionally, but,
he makes terrible decisions, half the time.
yeah, I mean, summoning the horrible Shadow Legion, I was like, that's fine, I'm okay with that. They got worse. They, were almost uncontrollable, but then, something weird happened and that brought you back.
Yep.
They're not really a great idea.
No, not really a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a lot of friendly fire on that one.
Oh yeah, no. Your allies are going to assume they were just another thing summoned by the cultists. They just happen to be there's problems going on. This is our end game. They're really
because no one knows what Claude can actually do anyways.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
He's a freak that is slowly trying to get himself better.
Yeah, unlike Hasbin.
Yeah. Carrie just stumbles onto issues that get her better.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
I've been made weird. I was forced into it.
Mm-hmm. Look, I just keep giving Carrie these options nowadays that are like, hey, do you want this other weird thing to happen to you? And she oftentimes just says yes, and I'm happy for it.
I feel like if presented an option to do more with my time weirdness, I might do more with it.
Honestly, it could come up, depending on how things go. Just has to. Anyway. Did you do anything Friday?
Friday, no. Cell was in the process of moving, so our game was canceled.
Yeah, isn't Cell.
He should be good for tonight,
but not for tomorrow or later on. I guess it's
I don't remember.
I thought that's what they
I know tonight's good, but I think Sunday is not.
It sounded like maybe packing to leave, actually leaving after.
Yeah.
So sort of getting ready, still has some internet old place kind of thing.
Yeah, I told Cell just to keep me updated.
Yeah.
So I and Jay might not make it because Canada's internet exploded.
So we'll have to find out about that. So I guess Sunday's up in
That's
the
up
air.
in the air. If I'm down 2 people, I can't run.
Yeah.
If I'm down 1 person, I can run.
Yeah, figured that's what was going on. So, yep. It was a pretty good week. I
it's a good time.
And I think that's it for today, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. I've got some time. I can go get some lunch/dinner.
Yeah,
do
we
a
got
few
till
things.
7.
Yeah.
I don't work super early tomorrow, so I can go a little later because there's only gonna be a 1 or 2 shot.
Okay. Wow, we're gonna be doing. I've got. I guess I have to put I've got a general idea of my character's backstory.
As long as you got an idea, a sentence is fine.
Yeah.
Just so I can gauge what the character is.
Felt stifled in their creativity in the vault. Left it to basically go explore, and felt like also people didn't need their help.
Yeah, because if this goes well enough, I will probably just run a full Fallout game at some point. Probably around the time after my other 2s finish up when I've had a couple weeks off.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna just buy the current printing of the book, so I don't have to keep cross-referencing erratas.
Understandable. But it sounds like there's always a little bit of a...
Yeah, a lot of the monsters they don't math out right, so I have to redo a lot of the math.
Gotcha.
Which is fine, because it's the PDF I have is a first printing. Those always have mistakes.
Yeah.
And this one has surprisingly less than most do.
I forgot what printing I have here. Let me check this here. I just want to check this. Oh, that's right, I do. I forgot. I have this classic first printing of Player's Handbook.
Oh, nice. I have a first printing of Tasha's College of Everything.
I actually think a friend of mine got that to me as a birthday present.
Ooh, nice.
It was from August, and my birthday's in September.
I still do not own a physical copy of the Player's Handbook.
I don't know if I would have bought it at the time. That's one of those weird things, is back in the day, you know?
It's like, when 5e came out, I was like, this isn't Pathfinder, why would I care?
I was interested, but it was like also we were playing a lot of Pathfinder,
Yep.
so it was like, do I need to? You know?
Yep.
We haven't decided to transition yet, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I hope everybody has a great week. Do you have anything to shout out, Momo?
Not particularly. Just like, things are crazy. Stay safe.
Yeah. For myself, expect a little bit more Wrath still. I'm on to the new chapter stuff, so I have not experienced any of this. That'll be fun. I'm going to do some more Wrath the Righteous, of course, because it hasn't scared me away yet. It still could. We'll find out.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know. Up in the air on that one. Expect the normal games. They're currently on schedule, and everything. Buccaneers will be off for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, because we're doing back-end shit.
Yeah, we're going to do some back-end shit. A few things there. I want to have some time to set up the next adventure. I got a bunch of level ups to do for some people and things like that. Sounds like a couple of people I don't need to. I was kind of asking, like, how do you want to, like, rearrange things?
Yeah, I'm assuming, like, we'll talk about this on, like, a Wednesday or something and go into actual depth of it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll use this Wednesday to do
Yeah, it would be a good one, because not everyone would have to be there for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's only if you want to be there, Lightning, if you have to love the Nat or not.
Yeah, the question is, do you want to show up for some things related to the backstory of Nat?
Would you like to do it?
Because there will be Cyclopsy ruin stuff on the island, which is Nat's thing, you know. That will be up to you, then, if you want to, you know...
You want me to level Nat for you? I've never leveled a wizard gunslinger before.
Well, we'll discuss that. We'll figure it out. And Children of Wrath should be going. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how many more sessions are left, but I know it's in the back end of the entire game. Because Urborg, and then it's just the finale stuff. Where, again, you can go straight to it. Or, you know, you could do MacGuffin-y stuff and set up for it. Which the MacGuffin-y stuff is probably smarter, you know.
I mean, I'm going to recommend we be as prepared as possible with those things.
You know, it's a thing will happen. You know, there will be kind of time constraints related to it. You just have to make decisions based on like, what you want to do.
Will Avengers assemble down to probably some people or something?
Yeah. I'm going to have to talk to Linz and Lee if they want to be back for kind of finale stuff. I will try to talk to them about it. So, anyway. There might be other stuff this week. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Who knows?
You know, I haven't been great at planning anything, but I'll throw up a schedule and maybe make some plans. I've been doing a few more things. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this show, learned a few things. Hope you can join us next time. It should be good for next week still. I think that's all the shout out for now. So, farewell everybody. Have a great rest of your Saturday. And see you next time.